Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. Special shout out to Gavin for this review. We are talking about Billie Eilish. Sorry, I mean Billie Eilish. Okay, Billie Eilish is my favorite nickname for her. This is Billie Eilish, Happier Than Ever. All right. I have so much to say about this album. Let's start with getting it off the turntable, never putting it back on there again. All right. I honestly hadn't listened to a lot of Billie purposely prior to this. Um, I didn't realize that she did have one song I actually enjoy, Bad Guy. I actually like Bad Guy. I thought that was a fun song. After listening to this album, I will say that there are 4 Billie Eilish songs I don't mind, not to say that I enjoy them. I like Bad Guy. I think Bad Guy is kind of fun. But outside of that, this album has 16 tracks. Oh, I should have left the vinyl out so I could show you something. Okay, so there's a few things I wanted to bring out for this vinyl in regards to this review. All right. Look at that wasted space. This is a double LP, and there is both LPs have all that wasted space on it. Okay. Which brings me to point number one. This is bloated. It should have been trimmed down to one vinyl, 45-minute vinyl, 145, and it would have been great. They trimmed it down to 145-minute vinyl, it would have been absolutely perfect. Well, I mean, not like a perfect 10 perfect, but I mean, it would have been. Okay. So, this whole album, first off, I hate when the pops and the static and the crackle and everything to try and make it sound lo-fi or make it sound analog or blah blah blah. I hate it. I absolutely loathe it. Now, they do a very good job of it on certain songs. And, if you're listening to those songs just individually as singles on Spotify or something like that, okay, maybe it's not bad. But when you're listening to the vinyl on the turntable and the whole thing is crystal clear, and then all of a sudden you start getting static and pops, it's like, what the hell? And then they're gone again. And then there was another track where all of a sudden the speakers sound like they were blown out, and it's like, are you gotta be kidding me? And like doing this on purpose to make it sound that way, and I really don't like it. Now, also going with production. So this whole thing sounds like it was recorded on using a computer wired into, at certain times, it could be a 4-track cassette recorder, or it could be the computer wired into the little portable recorder. It might be a digital portable recorder, but a portable recorder. Most likely it's just written on the computer and then Billie's voice is recorded over top afterwards. I'm going to say most likely it's the third option where, it's all written on the computer, it's all produced on the computer, and then they have Billie come in afterwards. There are a couple tracks where there's a little bit of guitar work where the guitar might actually be played, but for the most part, I think most of this is computer programmed. And that's only because I do it myself, If you go check out the links in the comments below, one will take you to Howling Odyssey, which is where my music endeavors go, and I've got my own programmed digital music on there, so that's why I'm basing it on this. And then Billie sounds like she's like this the entire time, And oh my god, it is so annoying. First off, Billie does not have a voice that lends well to the like this the whole time. Um, I don't like the cooing baby doll voice to start with, and the whole album sounds like Billie's crying. You know, like the front cover there where it's got that tear running down, that's how the whole album sounds. The whole album sounds like that picture when she's singing. She just sounds like she's crying and whining like some little sad baby. You know, because it doesn't even quite match the lyrics the way, you know, like when you look at the lyrical content and some of what she's saying, it's not overly impressive. I really just nah. Um, and this is also a 2021 album, so one could argue that this was a COVID album and therefore should be taken as a COVID album. And there's quite a few of those I've covered already from various artists I enjoy. Here's what I will say. Okay, so the first side is comprised of Getting Older, I Didn't Change My Number, Billy Bossa Nova, and My Future. That whole entire side, I was like the microphone right up to the mouth, hooked into a little 4-track recorder, and go. Like I used to record in my basement with my buddies. You know, like seriously, that's what it sounds like. Except for when we did it, we did stuff like this as jokes. You know, like this wasn't the serious music to us. This was us screwing around. You know, making comedy albums. When you get to side two, um, I liked Oxytocin for the same reason I liked Bad Guy. Similar vibe. And I actually had to go check to see if Bad Guy was Billie because I had no clue prior to doing this review whether or not that was actually her or not. So I like Oxytocin for similar reasons. I like Bad Guy. There's a similar vibe and feel to it. But given a choice between the two, I'd rather listen to Bad Guy. Goldwing, whatever, Lost Cause. Lost Cause I actually kind of enjoyed to a degree. Haley's Comet, whatever. Not My Responsibility. So, Not My Responsibility would have been provocative when Madonna did it back in 1990 with the Erotica album. On here, it's just. I like the sentiment behind it. I like the message behind it, but it's the delivery of it, you know, like the doing it in a way, like I said, it's just like Madonna doing her Erotica album, doing that provocative kind of in your face little, trying to both get you off and hold you accountable for it at the same time. Yeah, it really is a mixed message kind of track. Basically, something one could complain about is a constant right now, the whole way around. Um, Overheated, whatever. Everybody dies. That made me think typo negative. I actually didn't mind that one. Somehow just hit a typo negative nerve for me, which worked. Your Power, NDA, and Therefore I Am, Happier Than Ever. I actually enjoyed Happier Than Ever. If there was a song on this album, I actually had to say I thoroughly enjoyed just on its own, completely on its own, it would possibly be Happier Than Ever. And the album finishes with Male Fantasy. Okay. I'm not into the single tier. I don't know if you can see it properly with the way the light's coming in right now. I don't like the single tear thing coming down the face, trying to look, oh, sad. Oh, look at me. I'm sad. I got one tear running down my. Oh, shut the fuck up. Uh, Okay, so my understanding is her brother is the one that basically writes everything. He produces it. He does all the instrumentation, whatever. Uh, he's not bad. He's okay. He can write a decent thing, but based on this, I want to say exploits his sister. He's just using his sister, like she's an attractive looking girl, um, and she's got that whole emo-y goth, oh send me thing going on. So it's easy to kind of play that up and exploit that, and I really I want to be nice, but I can't because it's disappointing. It really is. I don't care for her voice. Her voice is very generic. It really is. And I don't care for the everything being like this and everything having that crackle in there. And, it's okay. But, like, she's not. Okay, if this had been an album, if I went out to I used to host poetry nights, and if there was an artist that came up and performed at a poetry night, and her brother came out and did a little light music while she performed this kind of stuff on there, and was selling CDs, I would drop five, maybe $10 to check it out, depending on the songs that were performed on here. Like I'm a big fan of Jewel, for example, right? At least the first couple albums from Jewel, I was a big fan of them and really enjoy them. So, something like that I'm okay with. And, Britney's got a few songs where I like when she does kind of the soft, whispery voice. Not a lot. I'm not a big fan of it, but there's a few I like. And there's a few other vocalists when they do that kind of soft whisper. I don't mind it too much. I'm not a huge fan of it. But Billie doesn't even do a soft whisper. She's kind of like, I don't want to hear Lindsay Lohan sing either. And this is kind of the way that Billie sounds like. It's kind of like the way that Lindsay Lohan talks now in modern times. And I like Lindsay when she talks like that, but I don't want to hear Lindsay sing like that. And that's kind of what Billie reminds me of. And I really, it just doesn't work for me. And it really just, she has no range. Like it really is limited, so limited. And because of the way she does do the singing, like you can tell how limited her range is, because if she was actually out on a stage and had to run around and perform, she wouldn't be able to do it. She wouldn't. Like listening to this, no, she's one of those reasons why artists would have the backing tracks. Me and Tracy went and saw City in Color, which I absolutely love listening to their albums, but after seeing them live, they were probably the most boring concert I've ever been to in my life. And Billie's kind of like in that same kind of mentality where, boring as hell. I would not want to see her live based off of this. And based off of this, I really don't have any interest in listening to any other albums. Maybe, if someone else has it, I might listen to it. Like, if Gavin had another one floating around, I might listen to it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being too rough. What do you guys think? Am I being too rough? That's what the comment section is for. If you are into Billie Eilish, this is not to take away from anything like that. It's just you can tell the music industry is as damaged as it is, and that things are the way they are because of stuff like this. Like, a real producer really would have hacked a few songs out of this, shortened it down to a single 45-minute vinyl, uh, and not wasted the extra money on the extra vinyl disc. That in its own is just a waste. Um, there, I honestly, yeah, if I were producing this, I think I definitely could have made a better album with better sounds on it. I do like the music that her brother writes, and I do think it is decent enough. But I do honestly believe that if this album had been released in the music market 20 years ago, it wouldn't have done very well. If it had been released in the music market of the 90s, it would have disappeared. It would have completely just been underwhelming and disappeared. Would have been relegated to the indie bins, and that would have been the end of it. Anyways, my thoughts, my views, my opinions. I know I'm being a little rough. If you think I'm being too rough, let me know in the comments. What album should I go listen to from Billie Eilish that will turn me around and make me think that I actually can enjoy and respect Billie Eilish for more than sounding like a sad little girl on a microphone? Anyways, folks, those are my views, my opinions. Like I said, leave a comment. Hit the like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. Down in the comments, you will also find a link that will take you to various places. Have at it. Peace, love, take care.